Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Binary Life, which is a channel that teaches new developers how to code by solving algorithm problems so that you can see how the solutions come to life. Today we'll solve the how many are smaller than me 7Q challenge. Now write a function that given an array returns another array containing at each index I the amount of numbers that are smaller than the array of I. So we have this array, for example. If we look at this first entry into the array, it's a number. Now the remaining numbers are all smaller than that number. How many of them are there? There are 4. That's why we enter 4 here. And if we take the next entry, there are 3 more numbers smaller than that. That's how we enter 3. And then finally we arrive to the last one. There is no number on its right, so we just enter 0 there. Let's take this second example. So we have 1 here. To the right of 1, how many numbers are smaller than it? We have 1, that is this 0. That's why we enter 1 here. And then for this 2, we have 1, 2, 1 number to its right. And I think the last one will always be 0. So what does that mean? It means we have to loop through this array from start to beginning. After we pick one element from that array, we begin another loop that verifies everything to the right. That is why we have I've already solved it here. I'll walk you through the exercise and solution. That's why we have a for loop inside the for loop. So first I prepare my answer. It's self-explanatory. I prepare my answer array where everything will be inside, and then that's where I start my first loop, going through the whole array. As I go through the array, I pick one element. That's where this count is important to be here between the two loops. If you miss the position of the counts, your algorithm will not work. So it's very important. That's why I start initializing the count to 0, because as I'm about to enter the second loop that wants to look at every element on the right, counts will be registering the number of occurrences. So I have the second loop that starts at the next element of I, so it starts at I plus 1. That's it, and it always ends at the end. And then I'll check if the element in front, remember I is the back element and J is the front element, so I check if the element at the front is smaller than the one in the back. If that's the case, I increment my count. At the end of this second for loop, I push my count into the answer array, and then the next for loop will begin again while count is reinitialized to 0. So the whole thing will just spin by itself, and at the end of the algorithm we can return the final answer. So I can make it easier by calling this let's just call it the back element. I think I is okay. I'm going to reduce this to one liner, and let's run again the code. It still works. All right, and then we can submit our solution, and let's see if there's something else proposed in the forum. This is clever. I don't even understand it myself. This is pretty cool. Right, I think this is the same thing like the one up, just written in 3 lines instead of 1. So let's try to understand it. I think it's not even that difficult. So what is the slice function in JavaScript? I think slice filters an array and gives a sub array. Let's document that and see. On the W3 school, let's look for slice. So that's it. Slice will produce you a sub array. depending on the criteria you put on the as a parameter. So I have an array of fruits, and if I want to slice from index 1 to 3, index 1 is orange, so this is 1, 2, 3, I think, without the last one. Let's try it and see. So this is my fruit array. I'll bring up my node console here. Now what if I slice the fruit constant? I'll remove the citrus fruits, which is equal to fruits.slice. I slice it 1 and 3. So if I display the citrus, this is what I have. I have just orange and lemon. So slice will not consider the last parameter. So this is 1 to 3, but it's just going to consider 1, 2, and forget about the third one. So this is index 1 here and index 2, orange and lemon. That's why I said without the last one. So here, let's come back to our solution here. This is where we were. So it's going to slice. This one just has one parameter. So how does slice behave with one parameter? Let's see that. Now what if I slice the array? Let me just call this one my slice, and I slice the fruits array, giving just one parameter, let's say 2. So what do we have? So it's going to return everything starting from 2. This is 0, 1, 2. So 2 is lemon. Lemon is at index 2, and then it just returns the rest of the array. So let's come back to the exercise here. So the slice is going to keep our I element and consider the rest of the array, and then from the rest of the array we are going to filter everything that is less than that element at position I, and then we return the length. So at the end of the day, it's actually a simple algorithm. This is cleverly written actually. I think that's the best thing to the one we did. This one is just what we wrote using other variable names, but it's the same thing. The only difference is that you had to store the base, you had to store the back element in a base